everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually gonna do a review of a foundation, and I think it's a really good time to do it because if you can't hear, I have a really bad cold and I've been really under the weather and having like the shivers and things like that. So I figured while I'm lying down and feeling really sorry for myself, I might as well slap on a bit of makeup to make me feel a little bit better and also obviously film a review for you guys. So I actually have two new foundations I want to review. One is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Foundation, and then I have the MAC Match Master Foundation, and I got these kind of both quite cheap, and if you want to know how and why, then make sure you watch my last video, which was basically a new beauty haul, and everything will make sense from there. So but yeah, I have these two new ones. I also had one Clinique one, but I gave it to a friend, and but yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Lancome one today and leave MAC for another time, just because this one comes with a primer that I'm quite interested in. Basically the deal was in John Lewis, it was £28.50. You get a full-size foundation, and then you get also the La Base Pro. You can choose between 3 different foundations. I think there's an illuminating one, pure pore eraser, which is the one I have, and I think maybe like a mattifying one. So I went for the pore eraser because that's kind of like my main concern. So that's what I have, and the shade I'm wearing in the Teint Idole Ultra Wear is number 38. I initially was meant to wear 43, but I think this one is actually suiting me a little bit better, so I'm quite happy with that. So what we're gonna do is basically I'm gonna just prime half of my face and leave the other one quite natural. So yeah, this one came completely free with the foundation for £28, which I think was quite amazing. It's a full-size primer, and yeah, oil-free. Let's have a little go. So apparently you're not meant to use a whole lot of it, so I'm just gonna squeeze it a little bit onto my finger like this, and I'm gonna work it into this half of my face. Ooh, it feels really, has that kind of slip to it, but it doesn't feel like silicone, so I'm quite happy with that because I really don't like silicone primers. I feel like they break me out and make me feel anything more oily, which I like my kind of satin finish. I'm not a fan of like huge matte finish, but I like it to be a little bit more on the natural side. To the foundation, the packaging is really beautiful. Comes in a nice like glass packaging with a pump, so that's always a good thing. And for tools, on one side of my face I'm going to use a sponge, on the other one I'm going to use a brush. Now I have a whole lot of these new Sigma, it's the extra dimensions brushes, and I already talked about these two in my previous video, which is 3D HD Max Kabuki Brush, which is this like angular brush, which I have a smaller size of, and you know I use for foundation all the time, so I'm really happy with this one. And the F83 brush, which is more like an oval brush, which really sits nicely in the contours of the face, so I love those. But then we have new ones. This is the 4D HD Kabuki brush, which I feel would be so fantastic for like blending underneath the eyes, the concealer, and maybe like for highlighting and contouring. So I'm gonna leave that one for the concealer. And then I'm gonna try the Edge Kabuki, so F87 brush, which has a really interesting slant and like a really long kind of tail of it, so it's really easy to get like in the crookeds of the nose. I actually used this one, as you can tell. I used all of them apart from this one because I can't wait. I'm a really impatient person. And then obviously for the other half of my face I'm gonna use the Beauty Blender. So I'm just gonna put a few pumps onto the back of my hand. Shall we first go in the sponge? Let's do that. So just gonna dab my Beauty Blender, kind of pounce it around and work it in the skin. Now what the lady at the counter actually told me is just to be careful with the shades because they do oxidize a little bit on the skin. That's how the foundation is designed, so it's not like a fault or anything like that. So bear that in mind when you're choosing your shades. Pouncing it around. You might feel that the foundation is a little bit dark for me, but it's because like I have a little bit of color still from my holiday, so it matches my neck everywhere else. It's just because I exfoliate my skin a lot, sometimes the face turns a lot lighter than my actual skin. Oh, it looks beautiful on the skin. It really kind of melts into it, doesn't accentuate any fine lines or any kind of texture on the skin. Just sits really beautifully, and what I like is that it sets really nicely. Now this is on the primer side, so I don't know if it's the primer or something else, but I'm gonna go in with the brush on the other side. So I'm gonna use the when I first dropped my brush. I'm gonna use the Edge Kabuki F87 brush, which is fantastic for foundation. Almost kind of push it into the skin, and I hope you can see how much like this brush really doesn't absorb the product, and it just pushes it into the skin really nicely. So what I would say is definitely on the primer side, the skin looks a lot more flawless. It's just that the texture is really minimized and the pores are really filled in, which when I compare it to like this side, which is like my problematic area, I guess, it just is not as smooth. It still looks fantastic, it's just not as smooth. But what I also want to find with the primer is that to the touch it feels a lot more matte, whereas this one I feel like is still taking a little bit of time to settle into the skin. So yeah, just bear that in mind. I definitely would recommend using a primer with it, looking at it right now. But we're gonna see through the day also how it wears and everything, so we'll know a lot better. But what I'm gonna do now is basically I'm just gonna apply my concealer and the rest of my face on just so I'm ready. And then I'll come back and tell you how everything glided on top of the foundation. Hey guys, so we're back. I find that the foundation held up the powders I put on top, so the translucent powder, bronzer, bit of blush. I skipped the highlighter today because I didn't want to overpower the foundation. But yeah, I definitely feel like the foundation actually did a good job with like allowing the products to sit on top of it really nicely. I do still find that the prime side is a little bit smoother and nicer to blend, but the other one isn't far behind at all, so I'm definitely enjoying it so far. What I'm gonna do now is basically I'm just gonna film a few more videos and kind of go throughout my day, and I'll update you here and there just like how the foundation is holding up. Currently it's 11, so when we started filming it was about 10 when we applied the foundation, so yeah, so far so good, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay guys, so it's time for an update. It's currently about 2 p.m. So I feel like my skin looks really well. I don't think it changed at all since the last time I updated you guys, so I think it's doing really well. I cleaned the house like top to bottom, did some laundry as you can see, did the washing and things like that. So yeah, considering like I was moving about quite a lot, I don't think I got oilier or anything like that. I still think it's really nice and it feels really nice and dried down, so I'm happy with that, I think. So yeah, so far that's it, and I'll report to you guys in a little bit again. Okay guys, so it's time for the last update today. It's currently about 10 p.m. is it?
10:43.
10:43, okay, and then he's here. You've been with me most of the day. How do you feel my foundation looks? Like at the end of the day today now?
Very pretty.
Very pretty? Does it look like oily or cakey?
I don't really know what to say. You have to tell me what to say.
No, does it look like natural or does it look like foundation?
It looks natural.
Looks natural. Okay. Well, I definitely felt as well like it was a
So
really...
I said it again, so I can actually say it looks natural.
No, it's fine. We're not faking it here. We're keeping it real, guys. But yeah, thank you. But I felt like it just was like a good foundation day today, especially because I feel a bit poorly. So you always want to like get something that makes you feel a bit better, I guess. I don't even makeup, but yeah, as much as like I felt like crap today, I feel like my skin doesn't look like that bad anyway.
Still managed to cook for me.
Managed to cook. Yeah. Ooh, we're sinking down. Sorry guys, I'm currently like managing this setup. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that this review was helpful. Make sure you stay tuned for the next one, which is probably gonna be the MAC Match Master Foundation. And I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!
Bye.